Listen to me. I don't care who you are, where you're from, or what your past looks like. Today, right now, you need to say it with me. Yes, I can do it. You've been sitting on your dream too long. You've been doubting yourself too long. You've been letting fear write your story too long. This is the moment where you decide that your dream is not going to stay a dream. It's going to become your reality. You think you can't do it? You think you're not qualified? You think you don't have enough time, money, or support? Stop lying to yourself. Every single person you admire started where you are. They were broke. They were scared. They were tired. But the difference is they didn't quit. They looked at the obstacles and said, yes, I can do it. You have to stop waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. There is no magical sign. There is no superhero coming to save you. You are the superhero. You have the power right now to make a decision that changes everything. But you've got to stop making excuses. Excuses are the enemy of progress. Excuses sound good, but they keep you exactly where you are. When life knocks you down, and it will, you have two choices. Stay down and complain, or get back up and fight. Pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. I'm telling you, there's something inside of you greater than any obstacle outside of you. You just have to unleash it. You have to grind. You have to stay consistent. You have to show up every single day like your future depends on it, because it does. So say it with me. Yes, I can do it. Say it when you wake up tired. Say it when nobody believes in you. Say it when you fail. Say it when you win. Say it when you win. Say it until it becomes your truth. Because the moment you believe, the world has no choice but to believe with you. This is your time. This is your season. Don't wait another day. Don't wait another hour. Go get what's yours. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Right now. Because yes, you can do it. Belief is the foundation of everything you will ever achieve in life. If you don't believe that something is possible, your mind will never allow you to pursue it with everything you have. Your belief is the starting point, the ignition switch that turns potential into reality. Without belief, even the most talented, most skilled, most intelligent person will sit still, paralyzed by fear and doubt. You cannot outwork disbelief because disbelief shuts down your effort before you even begin. That's why I'm telling you right now, before you think about the how, before you start making plans, before you start worrying about resources, you must first tell yourself with conviction that you can do it. When you wake up in the morning, before your feet even hit the floor, you must believe that the day belongs to you, that the opportunities out there are waiting for you, that no matter what comes your way, you will find a way through it. Belief is not just a thought. It's an attitude, a posture, a way of standing tall in a world that will try to make you small. Think about all the great achievers in history, the people you admire, the people who changed the world. They didn't start with money, connections, or the perfect circumstances. They started with a belief so strong that it consumed them. They had a vision of a better future, and they refused to let go of it. Even when others laughed at them, doubted them, called them crazy, they held on to their belief. That belief became their compass when they were lost, their fuel when they were tired, and their courage when they were scared. Belief is not some fluffy feel-good idea. Belief is power. Belief is the force that keeps you moving when you have every reason to quit. If you want to win, you must first win in your mind. You must see yourself victorious before anyone else does. Close your eyes and picture it. See yourself crossing the finish line, holding that trophy, shaking hands at the deal table, standing on that stage, getting that degree, living in that house, running that business. You must be able to see it so clearly that it feels real, even when your reality looks completely different. That is how belief works. It lets you borrow strength from the future to act with power in the present. Your current circumstances do not define you. Your belief does. You may be broke right now. You may be alone right now. You may be tired right now. But if you believe, if you truly believe, you are already on your way to the life you want. Belief is not passive. Belief is active. Belief demands that you take action in alignment with what you say you want. You cannot say you believe and then sit back and do nothing. Real belief makes you get up earlier, work harder, stay later, and push further. Real belief makes you reject laziness, procrastination, and fear because they do not match the vision you have for yourself. Real belief will not let you quit just because it got hard. In fact, belief grows stronger under pressure. When life pushes you to the ground, belief whispers, get up. When doors close, belief says, there's another way. When everyone else stops believing in you, belief allows you to look in the mirror and say, I'm still in this. But let me be clear, belief does not mean you will never die. There will be days when you question everything, when you wonder if you are wasting your time, when you wonder if you are good enough. Belief is not the absence of doubt. Belief is the decision to keep going despite the doubt. Belief is the choice to trust yourself when there's no evidence yet. Belief is planting seeds even when you don't see any signs of growth, because you know that the harvest will come if you keep watering. You have to protect your belief because the world is full of people who will try to steal it. Some people will project their own fears onto you and tell you it can't be done. Some people will laugh when you share your goals. Some people will even get angry that you dare to dream bigger than they do. You must guard your mind like a fortress. You must choose carefully who you listen to, what you watch, what you read, what you consume. Your belief can either grow or wither, depending on what you feed it. If you surround yourself with negativity, gossip, and doubt, your belief will get weaker. But if you surround yourself with inspiration, with people who challenge you, with voices that encourage you, your belief will become unstoppable. Sometimes the hardest person to convince is yourself. That little voice inside that says you're not enough, that you failed too many times, that it's too late for you. You must silence that voice. You must talk back to it. You must replace those lies with truth. Speak over yourself every single day. Say, I can do this. I am capable. I am worthy. I am prepared. I am unstoppable. You cannot wait for someone else to come and give you permission to succeed. You must give yourself permission. The moment you believe, truly believe, your mind begins to look for opportunity instead of obstacles. Your energy changes. People notice. Doors open that were once closed. Belief also requires patience. You will not see results overnight, and that's okay. Trust the process. Trust that every small step, every small win, every day you show up is building momentum. The journey might take longer than you expected, but that does not mean it's not working. A farmer does not dig up the seed every day to check if it's growing. He keeps watering it because he believes that growth is happening underground where he can't see it. That's how your dream works. You must water it with effort, persistence, and faith until it breaks through the soil and becomes visible. When you look at successful people, don't just admire their results, admire their belief. Admire the years they spent working in the dark when no one was clapping for them. Admire the countless times they failed and got back up. Admire the nights they stayed awake planning, the early mornings they woke up to grind, the sacrifices they made because they believed that what they were chasing was worth it. That same belief is available to you right now. It's not reserved for a special group of people. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the belief that you can have it. There will be moments when you are the only one who sees the vision, and that's okay. Some dreams are too big for small minds. You don't need everyone to understand. You don't need everyone to agree. You just need to hold on until the results speak for themselves. And when they do, the same people who doubted you will say they always knew you could do it. But by then, it won't even matter because you knew. You knew from the start. So today, make a decision. Decide that you are no longer going to speak words of defeat over yourself. Decide that you are no longer going to shrink to fit the expectations of others. Decide that you are no longer going to play small because of fear. Decide that you will believe in yourself so fiercely that quitting is no longer an option. When you believe, truly believe, your actions will follow. Your life will follow. And one day, when you look back, you will realize that belief was the turning point. The moment everything started to change. The moment you went from thinking about your dream to living it. You have the power to decide right now that nothing will stop you. Believe in yourself when it's raining. Believe in yourself when the sun is shining. Believe in yourself when the world is cheering. And especially believe in yourself when the world is silent. Because belief is not about the crowd. It's about you. It's about the quiet confidence that no matter what comes, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how many times you fall, you will rise again. And as long as you keep rising, you cannot lose. You have been waiting for the right time, the perfect moment when everything will align, when all the lights will turn green, when every piece of the puzzle will fall into place. But let me tell you the truth. That moment does not exist. There's no perfect time to start. The people you see winning in life didn't wait until they had everything figured out. They didn't wait until they had all the money, all the connections, all the answers. Started when they were scared. They started when they were scared. They started when they were broke. They started when nobody knew their name. They started in the middle of uncertainty and doubt. And that is why they are where they are today. You keep telling yourself, I'll start when I feel ready. I'll start when things calm down. I'll start next month, next year. But time is passing you by. Time is passing. The days keep moving. The months keep slipping away. And every time you delay, you are letting opportunities expire. Life is not waiting for you to feel comfortable. Life is not waiting for you to get over your fear. Life is happening right now. Every second you waste waiting for perfect conditions is a second you never get back. The perfect time is an illusion, a trap that keeps you stuck in preparation mode forever. You cannot control the timing of everything in your life, but you can control the decision to start. You can control the choice to take one step forward, no matter how small it seems. There are people with less talent than you, fewer resources than you, less education than you, out there living their dreams simply because they started. They stopped talking about it. They stopped thinking about it, and they acted. You cannot afford to keep waiting because waiting does not make things easier. In fact, the longer you wait, the harder it becomes. The longer you wait, the more your fear grows. The longer you wait, the more you convince yourself it's impossible. The longer you wait, the more excuses you create to justify why you haven't moved. But momentum is everything. When you start, you create movement. That movement builds confidence, and that confidence builds belief. But when you sit still, you build nothing but regrets. Stop saying it's someday and make today that day. Stop saying it may be later and choose now. Later is not promised to you. Starting does not mean you have everything figured out. Starting simply means you are willing to learn as you go. You don't need the entire staircase. You just need to take the first step. That first step might be scary. It might be uncomfortable. It might even feel impossible. But once you take it, you realize it wasn't as hard as you thought. And then you take the next one and the next one, and before you know it, you are further than you ever imagined you could be. Every master was once a beginner. Every expert once didn't know what they were doing. They learned by showing up, failing, adjusting, and trying again. Waiting for the perfect time is really just fear in disguise. It's fear pretending to be wisdom. It's fear pretending to be responsibility. Fear tells you to wait until you have more money. Wait until you have more knowledge. Wait until you have more courage. But courage does not come first. Courage comes after you take action. You will never feel ready because growth always happens outside of your comfort zone. Readiness is a myth. If you wait to feel ready, you will wait your entire life. The only way to get ready is to start. Action creates clarity. Action creates strength. Action creates momentum. You are not behind. You are not too late. The moment you start, you are right on time. Stop comparing your journey to someone else's timeline. Some people started earlier. Some started later. But what matters is that they started. You cannot control where you are right now, but you can control where you go next. You can decide that today is the day you stop being a spectator and start being a participant in your own life. Think about how many ideas never became reality because someone kept waiting for the perfect condition. Think about how many books were never written, how many businesses were never launched, how many dreams were never launched, how many dreams were never lived because someone was waiting for tomorrow. Do not let your dream be one of those. Do not let fear and procrastination bury what you were born to do. Even if you start small, even if nobody sees you yet, even if it feels like nothing is happening, the fact that you started means you are already further than you were yesterday. You are going to make mistakes, and that's okay. You are going to face challenges, and that's part of the process. Do not confuse the presence of struggle with the absence of progress. Struggle means you are growing. Struggle means you are moving. The only people who never struggle are the ones who never start. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a necessary step towards success. Every failure teaches you something, refines your approach, sharpens your character, and brings you closer to where you want to be. You have to be willing to start messy, start scared. The courage to begin is worth more than the perfection of waiting. Your dream will not come to life by accident. You must breathe life into it by acting even when you are unsure. The conditions may never be perfect, but you are strong enough to start under imperfect conditions. The time will never be just right, but you have the ability to make this time the right time by deciding to move forward. Every great story starts with a beginning, and beginnings are rarely glamorous. They are often awkward, difficult, and filled with obstacles. But those are the stories worth telling. The stories where someone refused to wait, instead created their own moment. You have that same power. The power to stop waiting for someone to come save you. Stop waiting for someone to believe in you. Stop waiting for everything to align. You have the power to create your moment right now. So what are you waiting for? The clock is ticking. The world is moving. Opportunities are passing by every single day. If you don't seize them, someone else will. And one day, you will look back and wish you had started sooner. Do not let that be your story. Let your story be the one where you took the leap, even when you were scared. Where you stepped out in faith, even when you didn't have all the answers. Where you stopped waiting and started living. Because once you start, you will discover that you had everything you needed all along. Excuses are comfortable. They make you feel safe. They give you a reason to stay exactly where you are without feeling guilty about it. But excuses are also the very thing holding you back from becoming who you are meant to be. Every time you say, I can't, because you are building a wall between you and your future. Excuses might sound convincing to the people around you. They might even convince you for a moment, but deep down you know the truth. They are keeping you stuck. The more excuses you make, the stronger those walls become, until one day you look around and realize you built a prison with your own words. You have to understand that excuses are not harmless. They don't just delay you, they destroy you. They destroy you. They rob you of momentum. They rob you of discipline. They rob you of your confidence. The harsh reality is that excuses will never produce results. You can talk about why you couldn't get it done all day long, but talking about it won't get you any closer to your goal. Results come from execution, not explanation. Nobody is handing out trophies for the best excuse. Nobody is going to feel sorry for you forever. At some point, life is going to ask you, what did you do with what you had? What on that day, excuses won't be good enough. Excuses are seductive because they let you off the hook. They let you blame something outside of yourself for why you didn't move. You say you don't have enough time, but you spend hours scrolling on your phone. You say you don't have enough money, but you waste what you do have on things that don't bring you closer to your dream. You say you don't have enough support, but you never ask for help or sought out mentors. The truth is, most of the time, it's not that you can, it's that you won't. And the longer you keep telling yourself you can, the more you train your brain to accept mediocrity as your destiny. You have to stop negotiating with your dream. You have to stop giving yourself an out. Every time you say, I'll try, I might, or maybe later, you are giving yourself permission to fail before you even start. Stop saying you don't have the resources and start getting resourceful. Stop saying you don't know how and start learning. Stop saying you're not ready and start building yourself up one action at a time. The people who win are not the ones who had no obstacles. They are the ones who refuse to let the obstacles be bigger than their purpose. Excuses are also contagious. If you keep making them, you will start attracting other people who make them too. And soon you will find yourself surrounded by a circle of excuse makers who spend more time talking about why life is unfair than doing anything about it. You need to break free from that environment. You need to surround yourself with people who refuse to let you settle, people who call you out when you start complaining, people who remind you that your dream is still possible if you get up and go after it. Breaking free from excuses is not easy because it forces you to take responsibility. Responsibility is heavy. It puts the weight back on your shoulders. It eliminates the option to blame others. But responsibility is also liberating because the moment you take full responsibility for your life, you also take full control. You stop waiting for someone else to change your situation and start doing what you can with what you have. When you stop making excuses, you stop being victim and start being a victim and start being a creator. You start seeing possibility instead of problem. Every time you catch yourself making an excuse, stop and ask yourself if what you are saying is really true or if it is just a convenient way to avoid discomfort. Most excuses crumble when you shine a light on them. Well, I don't have time is almost always a lie. You have the same 24 hours as everyone else. Just a matter of what you prioritize. It's one that can be overcome with creativity, persistence, and sacrifice. I don't know how is not an excuse anymore in a world where you can learn almost anything for free if you are willing to put in the effort. You must become allergic to excuses. When one comes out of your mouth, catch it, correct it, and replace it with action. With action. If you say, I can't because I don't have the time, immediately follow it with, but I can make time by cutting this, and this. If you say, I can't because I don't know how, immediately follow it with what I can learn how starting today. Excuses lose their power the moment you commit to finding a solution. Excuses also come disguised as valid reasons, and you have to learn how to tell the difference. There will be real challenges, real pain, real setbacks, and sometimes life will hit you with things you could not have predicted. But even then, you still have a choice. You can choose to let that situation stop you, or you can choose to keep going in spite of it. The world is full of people who went through worse than you and still made it happen. Their example proves that you can too. Excuses feed fear, and fear feeds excuses. The more you give into one, the more you strengthen the other. The way to break this cycle is through action. Action is the antidote to fear, and it's also the killer of excuses. When you take action, even a small action, you prove to yourself that it can be done. You start building confidence brick by brick until one day you look back and realize you don't need those excuses anymore. You will never rise to your potential as long as you are holding on to your excuses. They are heavy baggage slowing you down, and you cannot run toward your future while carrying the weight of why you can't. Drop them. Leave them behind. Every excuse you let go of is one step closer to the person you are supposed to be. Imagine what your life would look like if you stopped making excuses for the next 30 days. Imagine the progress you would make if every time you felt like saying, I can't, you said, I must. Imagine the energy you would unleash if you redirected all the time you spend justifying why you haven't started into actually starting. You would shock yourself with what you are capable of. Excuses are comfortable, but they are costing you your dream. Stop paying that price. Stop letting them steal years from your life. Stop letting them control your story. The moment you decide to eliminate excuses is the moment you give yourself permission to be great. It's the moment you step into your power and refuse to settle for anything less than what you are capable of achieving. Consistency is the quiet force that separates those who dream from those who achieve. It's easy to be excited for a day, motivated for a week, passionate for a month. But true success belongs to those who keep showing up long after the excitement fades. Anyone can put in effort when they feel like it, but champions put in effort even when they don't. Consistency is not glamorous, it's not loud or flashy. It's waking up early when nobody is watching. It's practicing when nobody is clapping. It's doing the small, boring, repetitive things over and over again until they become second nature. Most people fail not because they are incapable, but because they stop too soon. They do something for a short while, don't see results, and quit. But consistency is about doing it anyway, trusting that the results will come if you keep planting seeds. Consistency is not about perfection. You don't have to get everything right every single day. What matters is that you keep coming back. You keep showing up. You keep moving forward, even if it's just an inch at a time. Progress is progress, no matter how small. The compound effect of small, consistent actions over time is what creates massive change. It's like drops of water on a rock. One drop does nothing. 10 drops do nothing. Over time, those drops carve out the rock completely. That's the power of staying consistent. There will be days when you don't feel like it. Days when your body is tired, your mind is heavy, and your motivation is nowhere to be found. Those are the days that matter the most, because those are the days that separate the committed from the casual. Anyone can work when they feel good. Consistency is about working even when you don't. It's about making a decision that your dream is more important than your mood. You cannot let your feelings dictate your work ethic because your feelings will lie to you. Your feelings will tell you to stay in bed, to take it easy, to skip today, to try again tomorrow. But consistency demands that you get up anyway. When you stay consistent, you build momentum. At first, it feels hard, like pushing a heavy boulder uphill. But with every push, the boulder starts to move a little faster, a little easier, until one day it's rolling on its own and you just have to guide it. That's when consistency becomes your advantage. While others are still starting and stopping, you are building rhythm, and rhythm creates results. You become the person who doesn't just talk about goals, but lives them daily. Consistency builds character. It teaches you discipline. It teaches you how to honor your word to yourself. When you say you are going to do something and you follow through, you build trust with yourself. You begin to see yourself as reliable, capable, and worthy of success. That internal trust is powerful because it silences the doubt. It allows you to face challenges, knowing that you have the strength to push through. Most people underestimate how long it takes to see results. They try for a week, maybe a month, and then they give up, thinking it's not working. But consistency is not about immediate gratification. It is about delayed gratification. It is about understanding that what you do today might not pay off tomorrow, but it will pay off eventually. You have to be willing to keep going even when there's no applause, no validation, no visible reward. You have to be willing to work in the dark so that one day you can shine in the light. Consistency also brings clarity. The more you show up, the more you learn what works and what doesn't. You cannot learn if you are constantly stopping and starting and starting. Every time you stop, you have to rebuild your momentum, and you waste valuable time. Staying consistent allows you to make adjustments along the way, to fine-tune your approach until you find the right formula. It's not enough to be intense for a short period. Intensity fades, but consistency endures. The person who works out for an hour every single day will be healthier than the person who works out for 6 hours one day and then doesn't do it again for a month. The person who writes one page every day will finish a book faster than the person who writes 20 pages in one sitting and then stops for weeks. Success is not about spurts of energy. It's about sustained effort. Consistency also builds habits. When you repeat something often enough, it becomes automatic. At first, it takes willpower, but over time, it takes less effort because it becomes part of who you are. You no longer have to force yourself to do it. It becomes natural. That's when you know you built something lasting. You are no longer relying on motivation to push you because your habits are pulling you forward. Staying consistent does not mean it will always be easy. There will be obstacles, setbacks, and days when you fall short. But consistency is not about never falling. It's about getting back up faster every time you do. It's about refusing to let a bad day turn into a bad week, refusing to let a mistake turn into a pattern. You reset, you refocus, and you keep going. Consistency also earns respect. People may not notice what you do at first, but over time they will. They will see that you are serious, that you are committed, that you are dependable. Opportunities will come your way because people trust those who show up consistently. Doors will open because you have proven that you are not just another person with a dream, but someone willing to do the work to make it real. You must commit to consistency even when nobody is watching. You must keep practicing, keep learning, keep pushing even when it feels like nobody cares. Because the truth is, consistency is not about impressing others. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. Every day you stay consistent. You are casting a vote for the person you want to be. You are shaping your future with every small decision. Consistency is not built in a single moment of inspiration. It is built in thousands of small moments of discipline. It is built every time you choose action over comfort. Every time you keep going when you want to stop. Every time you honor your commitment, even when no one will blame you for quitting. Over time, those small choices add up to a life you can be proud of. So stop starting and stopping. Stop waiting for the perfect day, the perfect plan, the perfect move. Start now and keep going. Be relentless, be steady, be faithful to the process. Because if you stay consistent, the results will come. They might not come when you want them to, but they will come if you refuse to quit. One day you will look back and realize that it wasn't the big moments that changed your life, but the little ones. The mornings you woke up early, the nights you stayed up late, the days you showed up tired, the times you kept your word when it was hard. Consistency was the bridge that carried you from where you were to where you wanted to be. When you commit to taking consistent action every single day toward your dream, you begin to build unstoppable momentum that will eventually break down any wall in front of you. It doesn't matter if you start small, if you feel unqualified, or if you think others are way ahead of you. What matters is that you refuse to stay still. Every step, no matter how small, compounds into progress that will transform you and your circumstances. The truth is, waiting for the perfect time or perfect resources will never get you anywhere, because there will always be something missing, some excuse that tells you to delay. You have to move with what you have, right where you are, and trust that each action you take will open up new opportunity and pathways that you can't even see right now. Consistency is where greatness is built, because anyone can work hard for a day, but few people can keep showing up when the excitement wears off and things get tough. Taking action is not just about big leaps, but about mastering the art of small, deliberate steps that keep you moving forward. You wake up and choose progress even on the days when you feel tired, when you feel unseen, when no one is cheering for you. You do it because you've made a promise to yourself, and keeping that promise builds character, confidence, and faith. You start to notice how little action starts stacking up. Reading those 10 pages every morning adds up to dozens of books in a year. Practicing your craft for 30 minutes every day turns into mastery over time. Saving a small amount each week eventually becomes a safety net that allows you to invest in yourself. It's not about doing it all at once, but about doing something every single day that moves you closer to where you want to be. Taking action will separate you from the crowd, because most people live in their heads, thinking, planning, and wishing, but never executing. You can't afford to let ideas die in your mind. When you have an idea, write it down, break it into steps, and start doing something today to bring it to life. Execution is what makes the difference between those who talk about success and those who live it. You must be willing to be uncomfortable, willing to fail forward, willing to learn on the go. When you take action, even imperfect action, you gain information that helps you adjust and get better. But when you stay still, you get nothing but regret. You also have to understand that action brings clarity. You may not have every detail figured out. You may not know the full picture. But as you move, the path becomes clearer. Think about driving a car at night. You can only see a few hundred feet ahead of you. But as you keep driving, more road is revealed. Life works the same way. The answers you're looking for often come after you've taken the first few steps. Stop waiting for certainty and start moving with faith. Trust that the process will reveal itself as you keep going. One of the most important things about action is that it builds momentum, and momentum is your best friend. At first, it might feel like you're pushing a heavy boulder uphill. It's slow, it's hard, and you question whether it's worth it. But if you keep pushing, eventually you reach a point where the boulder starts rolling on its own, and that's when things start to feel easier. Suddenly, opportunities start coming to you. People start noticing your effort, and doors that were once closed begin to open. But that only happens because you kept moving when nothing seemed to be happening. You must also understand that action creates confidence. Many people wait until they feel confident to start. But the truth is, confidence is built by doing. The first time you try something, you might be nervous or unsure. But every time you repeat the action, you get better. And as you get better, you feel more capable. Confidence is a byproduct of action, not a prerequisite. So don't wait to feel ready. Start where you are, use what you have, and let the process grow you into the person who can handle the next level. There will be setbacks when you take action, and that's part of the journey. You will make mistakes and you will face rejection, but those moments are not there to stop you. They are there to teach you. Every failure contains a lesson that sharpens you, strengthens you, and prepares you for what's coming. When you fail, you get feedback. And that feedback is valuable because it tells you what to adjust. But if you never act, you never fail. And if you never fail, you never learn. Progress requires risk, and risk requires courage. You also have to remove the illusion of overnight success from your mind. Most success stories you admire were built on years of unseen work, consistent effort, and relentless discipline. The world only sees the highlight reel, but you must be willing to embrace the grind behind the scenes. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be, and there is no shortcut across that bridge. You have to walk it one step at a time, and perhaps most importantly, taking action daily creates a mindset shift. You stop thinking like a victim and start thinking like a creator. Instead of waiting for someone to rescue you, you realize you have the power to change your situation through consistent effort. You develop resilience because you learn that you can depend on yourself. You stop seeking validation from others because your progress becomes your proof. This is the season to stop overthinking, stop procrastinating, stop doubting yourself, and start doing. Action turns dreams into plans into progress, into results. Every day you wake up, you have a choice. Stay the same or move closer to the life you want. Even when you feel like you're not making a difference, remind yourself that seeds take time to grow underground before you see them sprout above the surface. Your job is to keep watering, keep nurturing, keep showing up. Taking action every day is your declaration that you believe in your dream, that you believe you are worthy of the life you desire. It is proof that you refuse to settle for average. And if you stay consistent long enough, what once felt impossible will become your new normal. Your life will shift, your confidence will grow, and you will inspire others by the way you live. It all begins with that simple, powerful choice to do something. Today, tomorrow, and every day after that. Fear is one of the greatest obstacles standing between you and the life you are meant to live. But it is also one of the greatest opportunities for growth if you learn how to face it. Fear will whisper to you that you are not good enough, not ready enough, not talented enough, and it will try to convince you to stay exactly where you are. It will magnify every possible negative outcome and blind you to the possibilities on the other side. But fear only has as much power as you allow it to have. The moment you decide to confront it instead of running from it, fear starts to lose its grip on you. You begin to realize that most of the things you were terrified of were not as big as you imagined. And even when things do go wrong, you discover a strength inside you that you didn't know existed. Facing fear is about understanding that courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision to act in spite of fear. Everyone feels afraid when they step into new territory, when they take on something bigger than themselves, when they dare to pursue a dream that others might laugh at. The difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck is not that successful people never feel fear, it's that they move forward anyway. Every time you face something that scares you, you grow a little braver, a little stronger, and a little more confident in your ability to handle what life throws at you. Fear often disguises itself as logic or practicality, telling you to wait until you have more money, more experience, more approval from others. But fear is not there to protect you. It's there to paralyze you. And if you listen to it for too long, it will rob you of your future. You must recognize fear for what it is, a signal that you are stepping outside your comfort zone and into an area where growth can happen. Growth never takes place in comfort. It requires stretching, risk, and sometimes even falling down. The fear you feel is evidence that you are on the right track, that you are doing something that matters enough to make you nervous. Facing fear is also about embracing uncertainty. Life will never give you a 100% guarantee that things will work out, but that's what makes the journey meaningful. If you knew exactly how everything would turn out, there would be no adventure, no reason to push yourself, no excitement in reaching a destination. The unknown is not your enemy. It's your invitation to trust yourself in the process. Every breakthrough in history happened because someone dared to step into the unknown without having all the answers. You can do the same. One of the best ways to overcome fear is to take action, because fear feeds on stagnation. The longer you wait, the bigger fear grows in your mind. But when you take even one small step, fear begins to shrink because now you have proof that you can handle it. That first step may be scary, but it is also freeing. Each step after that gets a little easier because you start building evidence that you are stronger than your fear. Action builds confidence, and confidence builds momentum. You must also change the story you tell yourself about fear. Instead of seeing it as a stop sign, See it as a green light that tells you this is where you need to go. Fear often points to the very area where your biggest breakthrough is waiting. If starting a business scares you, it may be because that's exactly where your purpose lies. If speaking in front of others terrifies you, it may be because your voice is meant to inspire someone. Fear can be a compass guiding you toward the areas where you are meant to grow the most. When you face fear, you learn resilience. You start to see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to rise higher. Every time you conquer a fear, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. You start to believe in your ability to figure things out, no matter how tough they seem. That belief is powerful because it allows you to step into even bigger challenges with confidence. You stop running from the things that scare you and start running toward them, knowing that each one will make you stronger. It is also important to surround yourself with people who encourage you to face your fears instead of feeding them. Fear grows in isolation, but courage grows in community. Being around people who have faced their own fears and succeeded can inspire you to do the same. They remind you that it's possible that you are not alone, and that fear is something everyone experiences, but no one has to be controlled by. You must also remind yourself of the cause of not facing fear. If you let fear win, you stay stuck. You live the same year over and over, never experiencing the fullness of life. You watch others chase their dreams while you stay on the sidelines, wondering what could have been. That regret can weigh heavier than any fear you might feel in the moment. When you face fear, you give yourself the gift of freedom. The freedom to try, to fail, to succeed, and to live without the weight of what is. Fear will always exist at every new level of your journey. Every time you grow, you will encounter a new fear because you will face new challenges and bigger responsibilities. But each time you face it, you become more skilled at handling. What used to terrify you will one day feel small compared to what you've already overcome. Fear does not go away completely, but you get stronger. And as you get stronger, fear stops controlling your choices. The truth is, courage is built like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. You don't wait until you feel brave. You act, and then bravery follows. You have to be willing to do it afraid. You have to be willing to feel the fear and move anyway. That's how you take your power back from fear. When you look back on your life, you will not remember the moments when you played it safe. You will remember the moments when you took the leap, when you did something that scared you, when you proved to yourself that you could do what once felt impossible. Those are the moments that shape you, that transform you, that inspire others. So whatever fear you are facing right now, decide that it will not stop you. Take the first step, however small it may be. Speak up, apply for the job, start the project, have the difficult conversation, face the thing that's been holding you back, and watch how much lighter you feel once you do. Fear is loud before you act, but once you act, it loses its power. Facing fear is not just about achieving goals. It's about becoming a person who is capable of living the life you were created to live. On the other side of fear is freedom, purpose, and possibility. All you have to do is choose to step through it. Success is not built in one giant leap. It's constructed brick by brick through the discipline of small, consistent habits that compound over time into extraordinary results. The difference between people who dream and people who achieve lies in their daily practice. Most individuals think success is about sudden breakthroughs, strokes of luck, or rare opportunities. But the reality is that greatness is hidden in the small, seemingly insignificant choices you make every single day. The way you spend your mornings, the way you talk to yourself, the effort you put into your craft, and the consistency with which you show up. All of these tiny decisions add up, and over time they create momentum that propels you forward. When you build strong daily habits, you design a life that supports your goals instead of sabotaging them. You can't expect to achieve success if your habits contradict the life you say you want. If you want to be healthier, but your habits are eating junk food, skipping exercise, and staying up late, your actions are working against your vision. If you want to become successful in business, but your habits are procrastination, distraction, and inconsistency, then no dream, no matter how inspiring, will ever manifest. Success does not come from what you occasionally do. It comes from what you repeatedly do. Habits are the foundation of identity, And your results in life will always reflect your habits more than your intentions. Habits work both ways. They can build you or break you. If you develop habits of discipline, focus, and perseverance, they will carry you closer to your goals even when motivation fades. But if you cultivate habits of laziness, negativity, or self-sabotage, they will drag you further away from the life you want. That's why it's so important to be intentional about what you do daily, because your habits are like seeds you plant. Some seeds grow into trees that bear fruit. Others grow into weeds that choke your progress. Every action you take is a vote for the person you are becoming. Small habits often don't seem important in the moment, and that's why many people ignore them. Reading for 10 minutes a day doesn't feel life-changing. Choosing water over soda doesn't seem like it matters. Waking up 30 minutes earlier feels inconvenient. Practicing your skills for 20 minutes doesn't seem like it will make a difference. But these are the little decisions that, compounded over months and years, completely transform your life. The problem is that people want immediate results. They want instant gratification. They don't want to wait for the harvest. But success is not about instant payoff. It's about planting seeds consistently and trusting the process until the results show. Consider how compound interest works in finance. At first, the growth is small, almost invisible. But over time, as the interest compound, the growth becomes exponential. Habits operate the same way. At first, the results are small, but if you stay consistent, they compound until the impact becomes undeniable. The athlete who practices every day may not see results in a week, but in a year, they are far stronger and more skilled. The student who studies daily may not feel smarter in a month, but in 2 years, they are an expert. The entrepreneur who makes small improvements daily may not see their business explode in a year, but in 5 years, they build something powerful. Success is delayed, but it is inevitable for those who are consistent. Building habits also requires discipline, because motivation will not always be there. Motivation is like a spark. It ignites passion, but it burns out quickly. Discipline is the engine that keeps you moving when motivation disappears. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's waking up early when you rather sleep in, working on your goals when you rather relax, choosing progress over comfort. Discipline creates freedom, because once you train yourself to act regardless of how you feel, you no longer become a slave to moods or excuses. You become in control of your destiny. One of the most powerful habits you can cultivate is consistency. Consistency turns average into excellent. You don't have to be the most talented, the smartest, or the strongest if you are consistent. Showing up daily, improving little by little, will always outperform talent that is inconsistent. The most successful people in any field are not necessarily the most gifted. They are the ones who refuse to quit, who continue to practice their habits even when no one is watching, even when results are not immediate. Consistency builds trust with yourself. And when you trust yourself, you stop doubting whether you can succeed, because you have proof from your daily actions that you are capable. Habits also shape your mindset. When you build habits of gratitude, you train your mind to see abundance instead of lack. When you build habits of positive self-talk, you reprogram your subconscious to believe in your ability to succeed. When you build habits of reading, learning, and personal growth, you expand your vision and unlock new levels of potential. Your habits don't just influence what you do, they influence how you think, how you see yourself, and what you believe is possible. It's also important to eliminate habits that sabotage your success. Scrolling aimlessly through social media, comparing yourself to others, wasting time on distractions, these are habits that steal hours of your life without giving anything back. Procrastination is a habit. Complaining is a habit. Doubting yourself is a habit. These destructive routines keep you trapped in cycles of frustration, and the only way to break free is to replace them with empowering habits. If you spend 30 minutes a day complaining, imagine what would happen if you replace that with 30 minutes of learning or planning. If you waste an hour watching shows every night, imagine how much progress you'd make if you use that time to work on your craft. Transformation happens when you trade destructive habits for constructive ones. Building habits also requires patience. Too often people quit because they don't see immediate results. They go to the gym for a month and give up because they don't see drastic changes. They start a business and quit because profits don't come right away. But habits are not about short-term results. They are about long-term transformation. You can't plant a seed today and expect a tree tomorrow. You have to water it daily, protect it, and give it time to grow. The same is true for your habits. You must be patient enough to trust the process, knowing that the results are coming if you stay consistent. Accountability can also help you stick to habits. Surround yourself with people who are disciplined, focused, and driven. Being in an environment where excellence is normal will push you to elevate your own standards. Share your goals with someone who will hold you accountable, who will remind you of your commitment when you feel like quitting. Sometimes discipline is strengthened when you know someone else is counting on you to follow through. Another key to building habits is starting small. Many people fail. They try to change everything at once. They set huge goals, overhaul their routines, and then burn out quickly. But habits stick when they are small and manageable. Start with 5 minutes of exercise, 10 minutes of reading, one small task toward your dream. Once the small habit is solid, build on it. Over time, the small habits stack up into powerful routines that shape your life. Remember, the goal is not perfection, it is progress. Habits are also a reflection of identity. If you see yourself as someone who is disciplined, consistent, and capable, you will naturally build habits that align with that identity. But if you see yourself as lazy, unworthy, or unlucky, your habits will reflect that belief. That's why changing your habits often requires changing the way you see yourself. You must start believing that you are the kind of person who keeps promises, who shows up daily, who refuses to quit. When you shift your identity, your habits will follow. Ultimately, success is the sum of your habits. It is not one big decision that changes everything. It is a series of small, repeated decisions made over time. Your habits will either take you toward your destiny or away from it. The question you must ask yourself is this: are my daily habits aligning with the life I want to live? Or are they keeping me stuck in the life I want to escape? The power of habits lies in their ability to create transformation without constant effort. Once a habit is ingrained, it becomes automatic. You no longer have to force yourself to do it. You just do it. Imagine the freedom of automatically choosing discipline, of automatically focusing on progress, of automatically acting in alignment with your goals. That is the life habits can give you. So build wisely. Create routines that nourish your body, strengthen your mind, and fuel your dreams. Be intentional about every action because every action counts. Over time, those small choices will create a life of extraordinary results. The future you want is not built in the future. It is built in the daily habits you practice today. If you master your habits, you master your life. Belief is the foundation of every great achievement. And without it, even the most talented and capable individuals will fall short of their potential. Believing in yourself is not just a feel-good phrase. It is a decision, a mindset, and a commitment to trust your own ability to figure things out, even when circumstances seem impossible. The world would often try to convince you that you are not enough, that your dreams are too big, that your background, education, or resources are not sufficient. If you let those voices control your thinking, you will never step into your true power. Belief is the fuel that allows you to keep going when the road gets dark, when challenges seem overwhelming, and when doubt creeps in. It is the inner voice that reminds you that you are capable of more than you think, that you have everything you need inside you to win, even if it doesn't look like it right now. Believing in yourself does not mean that you never experience doubt. It means that you choose not to let doubt decide your future. It means that even when you are scared, you still take the step. It means that even when you fail, you get back up and try again. Because you trust that every setback is simply part of the process. You must believe that your dream is possible, that your effort will pay off, and that your current situation is not your final destination. When you hold that belief, you become unstoppable because no obstacle is stronger than someone who refuses to quit. Belief is powerful because it shapes the way you think and act. If you believe you can succeed, you will look for solutions instead of excuses. You will see opportunities instead of problems. You will act with confidence instead of hesitation. But if you believe you are destined to fail, your actions will reflect that belief. You will hesitate, you will give up easily, and you will never put forth your full effort. Your life is a mirror of what you believe about yourself. That is why you must guard your mind and be intentional about the story you tell yourself. You must also understand that believing in yourself is not arrogance. It is not about thinking you are better than anyone else. It is about recognizing your own value, your own worth, and your own potential. It's about refusing to play small just because other people are uncomfortable with your ambition. It is about having the courage to bet on yourself even when no one else will. Some of the most successful people in history achieved greatness because they had an unshakable belief that what they were doing mattered even when others laughed, criticized, or doubted them. Belief also requires patience. You cannot believe in yourself only when things are going well. You must also believe when everything seems to be going wrong. It is easy to trust your abilities when doors are opening and opportunities are flowing. But the real test of belief is how you respond when nothing seems to be working. Do you give up or do you keep going? True belief is forged in adversity because that is where you are forced to dig deep and trust yourself even when there is no evidence yet that you will succeed. Building belief often means proving to yourself that you can keep promises you make to yourself. Every time you set a goal and follow through, you strengthen your confidence. Every time you say you will do something and actually do it, you build trust with yourself. That trust becomes the foundation of belief. The opposite is also true. Every time you break promises to yourself, you weaken your confidence and teach your mind not to trust you. That's why self-discipline is so critical, not just for results, but for building belief. You cannot believe in someone who constantly lets you down, and that includes you. The people you surround yourself with also influence your belief. If you are constantly around negative, doubting, or fearful people, their mindset will begin to shape yours. If you are surrounded by people who believe in you, encourage you, and inspire you, their faith will strengthen your own. You need people in your life who can remind you of your greatness when you temporarily forget, who can speak life into your vision when it feels like everything is falling apart. But even if you don't have those people yet, you must learn to be your own biggest supporter. You must learn how to speak life over yourself, how to affirm your ability to succeed, how to drown out the noise of doubt and criticism with the voice of belief. Belief is also connected to vision. You have to see yourself winning before you actually win. If you can't picture yourself successful, if you can't imagine yourself living the life you dream about, you will never do the work to make it happen. Visualization is powerful because your brain begins to align with the picture you create. When you consistently see yourself as capable, as strong and successful, your actions begin to match that vision. You start carrying yourself differently, making decisions that align with your goals, and acting as if you have already won. That mental shift is a critical part of turning dreams into reality. Believing in yourself also requires you to stop comparing yourself to others. Comparison kills confidence because it makes you focus on what you lack instead of what you have. You must understand that your journey is unique, your timing is unique, and your purpose is unique. Someone else's success does not mean your failure. Instead of comparing, use their success as proof that what you want is possible. If they can do it, you can too, but in your own way and in your own time. Fear and failure will always try to challenge your belief. When you fail, your mind will tell you that you are not capable, that you should quit, that you should settle for less. This is where belief matters most. You must remind yourself that failure is not final unless you stop trying. Failure is feedback, a lesson, a stepping stone to something better. The most successful people, not those who never fail. They are those who refuse to let failure destroy their belief. They see every failure as proof that they are learning, growing, and getting closer to the goal. Believing in yourself also means taking ownership of your life. You cannot blame circumstances, other people, or the past for where you are forever. At some point, you must decide that you are responsible for your future. You may not be responsible for what happened to you, but you are responsible for what you do next. Belief gives you the courage to take that responsibility because you trust that no matter where you are starting from, you can create something better. Finally, belief transforms you into a person who inspires others. When you live with unshakable belief, people notice. They are drawn to your confidence, your energy, and your determination. You become a living example of what is possible, and you give others permission to believe in themselves too. Your belief is not just for you, it is for the people who are watching. The people who need your story to light the way for their own. So choose to believe even when it's hard, even when it feels foolish, even when nothing around you seems to support it. Believe that you are worthy of success. Believe that your dream matters. Believe that you have what it takes to turn it into reality. When you truly believe, you will act differently, you will persevere longer, and you will rise stronger every time you are knocked down. That belief is the key that unlocks the door to everything you have ever wanted. When it's all said and done, you must realize that everything you have heard, everything you have worked through, and everything you have felt in this journey comes down to one truth. You are capable of achieving greatness, but the choice to step into that greatness belongs to you. Life will never hand you your dreams on a silver platter. It will test you, stretch you, and at times it will even break you down. But it is in those moments of breaking that the real you is revealed. The conclusion of this journey is not about me giving you a final motivational push. It is about you looking within yourself and making a commitment that no matter what happens next, no matter how many times you are knocked down, no matter how hard it gets, you will not quit on yourself. You will not allow fear, doubt, or insecurity to write your story. You will hold the pen and you will write a story worth telling. This is your moment to understand that there is no perfect time, no perfect situation, no perfect set of conditions that will make everything easy. There's only now. And the decision you make right now will determine where you end up tomorrow. You have heard it before, but let it sink deep. Success is not an event. It is a habit. It is the small things you do every day when no one is watching. It is waking up early when you feel tired, showing up when it would be easier to stay home, staying focused when distractions are calling your name. It is doing the work when you don't see the results yet, and trusting that if you stay consistent, the breakthrough will come. The conclusion to this is simple. You already have everything you need inside you. You don't need anyone's permission to be great. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You just need to decide that you are enough, that your vision is worth fighting for, and that your dreams are worth the sacrifice. Look at the journey you've been on so far. Think about how many times you wanted to give up. Think about the battles you've already won, the storms you've already survived. You are stronger than you think. You have proven it again and again. And if you made it this far, why stop now? The worst thing you could do is quit right before the breakthrough. So many people are one decision away, one more attempt away, one more act of faith away from living the life they dreamed about, and they stop too soon. Don't let that be your story. Let your story be one of perseverance, of courage, of refusing to back down no matter how tough it got. The end of this message is not meant to make you comfortable. It is meant to wake you up. It's meant to remind you that time is passing, whether you act or not. Every day you wait is a day you don't get back. Stop waiting for motivation to strike like lightning and start taking action. The motivation will meet you along the way. You are the one who has to take the first step, the one who has to do the uncomfortable work, the one who has to decide that failure is not the end, but simply feedback. Every setback you've experienced is just preparing you for the comeback. Every closed door is just guiding you toward the door you were always meant to walk through. Remember that the world is not waiting for someone else to step up. It is waiting for you. Your family is waiting for you to lead. Your friends are waiting for you to inspire them. Your community is waiting for you to show them what's possible. The younger version of you, the one who once believed that anything was possible, is waiting for you to keep that promise you made to yourself when you were young. Don't let that younger you down. Let them look at who you've become and smile because you kept going even when it was hard. This conclusion is also about gratitude. Take a moment to be thankful for the obstacles, for the struggles, for the nights you cried yourself to sleep. Be thankful because all of it made you who you are. It built character, it built strength, it built resilience. You wouldn't have the wisdom you have now without those hard times. And as you move forward, Carry that gratitude with you because gratitude fuels perseverance. It reminds you why you started and keeps you from becoming bitter along the way. As you close this chapter and step into the next, make a commitment to yourself that you will no longer live at half capacity. You will no longer dim your light because you are afraid of standing out. You will no longer play small just to make others comfortable. You were not put on this earth to be average. You were put here to make an impact, to live fully, to leave something behind that matters. And you can't do that by staying in your comfort zone. The comfort zone might feel safe, but nothing grows there. Step out, take the risk. Believe that you are capable of handling whatever comes. Let today be the day you draw a line in the sand and say, this is the moment everything changes. From this moment on, you are not going back to the old version of yourself. You are not repeating the same patterns that kept you stuck. You are not settling for less than what you know you deserve. From this day forward, you are committed to becoming the best version of yourself, no matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it gets. And as you grow, as you evolve, as you climb higher, don't forget to reach back and pull someone else up with you. True success is not just about what you achieve, it is about what you inspire in others. At the end of the day, you will look back on your life and you will ask yourself one question. Did I give it everything I had? If you can answer yes to that question, then you have won. It won't matter how many times you failed. It won't matter how many people doubted you. It won't even matter how long it took, because you will know that you didn't quit. You fought for your dreams. You refused to live an ordinary life. You made the most of the time you were given. And that right there is what success really is. So as you walk away from this moment, walk with purpose, walk with conviction, walk knowing that the power to change your life is in your hands. Yes, you can do it. Yes, you have what it takes. Yes, your dreams are possible. Don't just leave inspired. Leave ready to act. Because the world is waiting to see what happens when you finally decide to unleash everything that's inside of you. The conclusion is not the end. It is the beginning of a new chapter, a new story, a new level of you. Go out there and show the world exactly who you are.